All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday. Happy Friday to everyone out there. We got ourselves July 18th and a full MLB slate to dive into in today's video because we are back from the All-Star break. In this video, I'm going to go through each and every game. I'll give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about either plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. We are live right now, but afterwards, that pinned comment will be updated. That'll take you to all of my final plays. So I'm actually rolling with myself over on the Guy Boston site. If that does interest you, if you do want to fade me, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. And also, let's get some ride of the days, both in the chat as well as in the comments afterwards. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, it's simple. Just use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments. I jump on board with one person's play each and every day. Give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Now, like I said, we are live, so things are changing a little bit. We will be selecting the ride of the day from the comments of the video, not the live chat, but hey, it never hurts to get those ride of the days in the live chat because you're helping out a ton of people in general. But yeah, like I said, a big slate to dive into. Things are usually a little weird, a little wonky coming back from the All-Star break. All the bullpens are rested and everything like that, so let's make sure to be a little conservative in terms of what we're doing. But what do you say we go ahead and dive into the slate, all right? We do have the live chat going. If you are tuned in live, appreciate you being here early. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching after the fact, same deal. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. Obviously, you know, as we do these live streams and whatnot, we're going to get better and more comfortable going through the chat, but one-man show here today. We got to go through 15 games. If I'm not seeing the chat, you know, for the whole entire video and whatnot, you know, don't sue me. But let's go ahead and dive into game number one here. We're looking at the Cubs taking on the Red Sox. On the mound for the Cubs is going to be Colin Rea going up against Lucas Giolito. We talked about this one yesterday when we did the early look video. I don't really trust Colin Rea, but at the same time, I do feel to some degree, just a little degree, that Lucas Giolito may be due for a little regression. He's been very, very good lately. As a Red Sox fan, you know, I've appreciated what he's done, especially during their run and whatnot, but I don't necessarily love him in this spot. His last few starts against this Cubs team, albeit they were years ago, not all that tremendous. So the thing that I'm leaning towards here is hoping, and this might be a biased picks, you know, biased pick. I get it. I'm going to lean Red Sox. I do think they have the starting pitching advantage. I would say they definitely heading into the break have the offensive advantage. We know how good the Cubs actually are, so let's be real about the offenses. That's why I'm kind of also looking at the over, because I do think this Cubs team at home after the break could look pretty good. There's a couple righties in this lineup. You know, Suzuki, we talked about it yesterday, bottom of that order. Nico Horner as well. You know, that could be decent. Peaker Armstrong hits righties really well. Giolito's a righty. But then on the other side of things, this Red Sox team, their offense is really clicking. So yeah, I like both squads to score some runs today. It's 8.5. Looks like we're going to have, you know, 73-degree weather. I don't think it's going to be too windy in Wrigley, which is a win. So yeah, it's going to be the Red Sox and the Cubs for me. But if someone is on the Cubs side of things, it's going to be the Red Sox and the over for me. But if someone is on the Cubs side of things, I'm not going to fault them for it. I kind of get where you're coming from, right? Like, it makes sense to me. All right, we got a bunch of people in the chat right now. Let's give a few shout-outs as we go. We got Jalen in here, SB, Curtis, Tonio, Chaki, Gump. We got Jeremy, Mike, bunch of people in chat. Big Man, Trash. Appreciate everyone tuning in again, guys. We are live. This video will be posted afterwards as its own video as well. So if you are live, you're one of the live crew, and really do appreciate that. Let's get some, you know, comment live crew right now in the chat if you are here, because really do appreciate you guys tuning in live fairly earlier than we normally put up the video, right? But all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game here. This one, I honestly still kind of maintain what I had yesterday. We're looking at Pittsburgh taking on the White Sox here. Falter up against Jonathan Cannon. Do I sit here and love the White Sox? No, but I'm not paying in the minus 160s for Pittsburgh. I'm not paying in the minus 160s for Bailey Falter. So I think that this is going to be something that I look at in terms of potentially looking at the White Sox or just fading both offenses, right? Neither one of these pitchers is all that fantastic. I get it, but I think both offenses are worse. And you could say that this Pittsburgh team, you know, went on a little streak. They did, and then the Cubs kind of looked good into the end, into the break. I get it, But to me, there's nothing worse in this game than the offenses. I know you have two bad bullpens, two bad starting pitchers, but the offenses are worse. So what we're going to do here is, I still am going to lean towards the White Sox. That's what we said yesterday, and I think I maintain that. But I'm also going to look at the first 5 or full game, I guess, under. That's what we kind of put up yesterday. And again, I think that's still where my head is at. It's fading the offenses. It's not backing the pitchers. I kind of want to make that fairly clear. You know what I mean? So give me the White Sox or the under. I really don't want to. I really don't want to sit here and think that this is a spot in which we're like, oh, let's go. We love the under because we like Falter, we like Cannon. No. This is going to be a spot in which we're kind of just saying, hey, these offenses stink. Now, in terms of what we have from a player prop perspective, there's a couple here. Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, I do like their under hits, runs, and RBIs. In terms of Brian Reynolds, hits righties, not all that great. The cutter, the changeup, the sinker, those could be good pitches. And then Andrew McCutchen on the other side of things, I like that. He doesn't hit righties all that well. We have Jonathan Cannon, who's been very good against righties, so kind of for the same reasons. I will say that McCutchen, the pitch mix that he's going to get from Cannon is pretty good. So, McCutchen and Reynolds could be unders as well, but we didn't even pop them up on the screen. They're kind of slight leans right now. Again, if I was leaning towards any sort of an over here, then I probably wouldn't even be considering player props in this one. But because we like the under, I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs. I don't mind looking at some, runs and RBIs type things on the under. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. We got Washington taking on San Diego. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat kind of disagree in that one too, like a little bit of a deliberation here. And it is true. I mean, when you have the Pirates and the White Sox, like we can all admit, like that's gambling at its finest. You know what I mean? Falter, Cannon, like, so when I say the under, again, it's just fading the offenses. I'm not trying to say that I'm really backing any of these guys at all. But, all right, let's go ahead and keep the train moving here. We got Washington taking on this Padres squad. The Padres have been just like, I don't know if you want to call them a disappointment or inconsistent or anything like that. I do still think that they have somewhat of an advantage here in terms of Dylan Cease against Michael Soroka, but not like the biggest advantage whatsoever. I think Dylan Cease, his pitch mix doesn't necessarily look all that great. You can even see in our dashboard here, fastball is going to be good, but that's slider, right? This is a Washington team that's actually hitting the slider pretty well, and the top of that lineup hits the slider really well, which is what I would worry about. But you flip it over and you have the curve. That's a pitch that San Diego hits. The fastball, they're kind of middle of the pack. Top of the lineup hits the curve well, right? And that's our dashboard. We'll show you guys how to get access to that later on in the video. So I think what I ultimately look at here is maybe taking a peek at the over, but again, I do still think the Padres have the bullpen advantage, the starting pitching advantage, and realistically, the talent advantage on the other side of things. And much like there's a bunch of teams, Red Sox included as a Red Sox fan, that went into the break on an absolute streak and everything like that, and you're probably sitting there being like, oh my God, the break probably came at the wrong time for them and killed them. There's a chance that the Padres, this couldn't have come at a better time, right? Because it's almost like they were just slowly declining and what's going on with them and all that. So I do think maybe the break helps the Padres say, hey, dude, look at our lineup. How are we not putting up 5-6 a game, right? Against Washington, decent weather today there. I think the Padres can get the job done, but decent price tag behind them, right? I don't know if I agree with that. So that's why I'm kind of looking at the idea of the over. And Curtis in the chat says the exact same thing I'm saying, right? Hopefully this break helped them. Exactly. Like I think that out of most teams, the break probably hurt them because they were on a streak, but the inverse can happen too. A team that's kind of just like wishy-washy and whatnot, maybe the break allows them to kind of sit there and be like, let's get things going. It's like they still have a 53 and 40 something record. Like they're still doing decent. So yeah, I would sit here and be like, yeah, I guess this is a spot for the Padres, but I like the over because I think Washington might be able to hit Cease a little bit. Just a little bit, just enough, right? Overall. But guys, before we do move on with the rest of the games, do want to talk to you guys about Novig. Been talking about them a lot lately because I think this might be the future of where we're all placing our plays. Sportsbook exchanges, and none better than Novig. A couple things that are great about this. First off, you're getting way better prices than the other books out there, like 90% of the time. And why is that? Because you got Joe Schmo setting the lines and setting the odds, right? I could go on there right now, look at the Padres and say, hey, I'm going to take them plus 200. And if someone else wants the other side of that, they can take it. It operates just like your normal book, only it is an exchange peer-to-peer, so you're getting really, really good prices. A lot of liquidity over there as well. Go check it out. I have a link down in the description as well as the pinned comment, and I'll go ahead and toss a link to Novig in the chat right now so you guys can check it out yourself. You can use code GuyBoston when signing up. That's going to get you, I believe, some bonus cash as well, which never hurts. But again, this would just be great to keep in your arsenal. I'm telling you, a very, very good place to add in there, because again, you're always trying to line shop, always getting the best odds. So check that out. Link in the chat. It's also now in the description as well as the pinned comment. Go check out Novig, guys. Let's jump back into these games now. This next one, kind of conflicted as to where I want to go because the price is too much to really get to the Phillies side, right? We got the Phillies taking on the Angels. Pitcher still TBD on the Angels side of things. I've seen Jose Soriano and I've seen Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo looks like he's good to go, and I think that he's going to pitch fantastic. I talked about this yesterday. I do think we have, the idea of the Phillies going to rally after this All-Star break because Misarowski made it over a couple of their pitchers. So there's that. I think the Phillies probably win this game. At minus 200, I don't love the idea of that. But if we do have Jose Soriano pitching, it kind of puts me in a spot into which I don't mind the idea of, and we'll get this popping up on the screen. Yes, it's Phillies. Maybe Phillies first 5 minus 0.5 is what we like, but I also don't mind the first 5 under in this one. That's going to be something that we consider. Reason being is that this is a Jose Soriano that throws the ball, that sinker's really, really good, and he keeps the ball on the ground. This is a Phillies team that, even though they have, a bunch of big names and everything like that, this is a Phillies team that very much so keeps the ball on the ground. Last 30 days, 3rd in ground ball to fly ball rate, meaning they hit the 3rd most ground balls. 5th in the last 30 days against righties, right? At home against righties, 5th. My concern here taking it under is that we've seen what these Phillies can do in nice weather, right? And this is going to be, 80 degrees, hot, humid, wind blowing to right field, so not necessarily directly at, towards the outfield, which is great. But overall, I do think that this is a Phillies spot, maybe in the first 5 or the full game. This Phillies bullpen's been a little up and down, right? That being said, they're rested. They're kind of good to go. I don't think the Angels bullpen is all that great. So anything Phillies I like, but I kind of like the idea of an under just to some degree. We don't have a Phillies lineup yet, but we can assume that these guys are going to be good and everything like that as well. So yeah, Phillies in the under, probably going to be something that I look at here. I believe we had, let me check quickly. I believe we had a few, I want to say we had a few player props on the Angels side of things to look at. Yeah, Joe Adell, Taylor Ward, and Shanuel. So obviously, yeah, we're taking a couple of their bigger names, but I do like the idea of Jesus Luzardo in here. The fact that he's going to throw the slider, we can target guys that strike out against the sliders, which would be all of these guys. Now, Taylor Ward has been kind of on fire, but again, that slider, his WOBA drops, and the changeup is the 3rd pitch he'll see. His WOBA drops against that as well, and then same thing with Shanuel. These are guys that were doing really, really well, but the slider should be good against them. So I do think out of those, I might take a peek at Shanuel, which again, it kind of can be crazy just given the fact that, we're looking at a guy that had pretty much averaged 2 hits, runs, and RBIs heading into the break. A little wonky there, but it's against lefty with the slider. So let me add that actually to the lean list here. I don't even know if I spelled that correctly. But you know what? We move on. The beauty of being live here. So I think that that's probably what we end up getting to in this one. A few of those there. Let's get to some chat here, guys. I will try and take a couple moments in the video to get to the chat. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got. I'm going to scroll ahead a little bit just to keep up here. Yeah, Trash says, feels like today could be a weird day for the Bucks. It's a weird day overall. Just because we're out of the All-Star break, right? Jeremy says, will he be in the final plays? Yes, so just, even though we're live right now, there is no, and I see that Curtis has my back here, but I'll just say it anyways for anyone else new. This is going to be, we have the live stream, this will be posted as a video afterwards, and then it'll operate like normal. Everything in the pinned comment, once this is posted, will be taking you to the Guy Boston Sports site with the final plays. Only difference here is some of you guys that get up early and want to watch will be able to interact live. So video format, all that stays the same, but we got a little bit of the live going on right now. Aaron's saying the only live show. Yeah, I want to get up and early. This would be, great if back when I had, and I don't even think of it just like this, but back when I had my 9 to 5, I would love to tune in, on the commute listening to something. So let me know where you guys are watching from right now, if you're watching or listening right now. Brian says good morning. Chucky, I don't even know if I'm saying that name right, but that's an awesome name, saying we're going green. Let's hope so. But all right, let's dive back into these games here. Again, the only thing I worry about with this blabbermouth, guys, is doing a live stream for 15 games. If I start talking to the chat too much, you guys could distract me, and this might be 3 hours long, which then we want to cut it up and make the video posted, because we might even post the video as a cut condensed version on the channel as well, so you guys are gonna get tons of content out of this. Yeah, it might be three hours long, you know what I mean? But nah, it'll be all right. All right, let's dive into the next one here. We have Toronto taking on the Giants. Verlander and Chris Bassett on the mound. I almost said Berrios. Bassett on the mound. This one, I went back and forth. Even yesterday when we talked about it, right? I kind of was back and forth. I don't think that there's enough to make me fade this Toronto team. They're at home. They're going up against Verlander. Verlander, even in his career, so Verlander, who's been very good in his career, 43 plate appearances against this squad, 23% K rate, 7% walk rate, average against of 275, expected batting average against of 294. So nothing redeeming there. Expected slugging of 501, expected WOBA 365. So yeah, I don't necessarily mind the idea of the Blue Jays in this spot. I would say over as well, and pop that up on the screen, or the team total over. I think the Blue Jays can put up somewhat of a respectable number today. But again, I did go back and forth on this in the last couple of days. Chris Bassett, the one thing that I mentioned yesterday, and we'll kind of toss it up on the screen so you guys could see it here. He throws the sinker, and he's been very good keeping the ball on the ground. San Fran, this is what worries me, right? Like, what the heck? Out of all the pitches that they don't hit well, and they don't hit well on the road, the sinker they hit, they're number 3 in the league last 30 days. So it's like, yeah, Bassett can be pretty good, but he's going to throw the sinker, and that could come back to bite him, right? So I'm going to lean Toronto. I like their team. I think that they can put up somewhat of a respectable number today. In terms of the odds, let's see if we can get an updated line for you guys here. So over 3.5 from -160. You're asking for a lot there. So you'd pretty much have to look at the plus money for 4.5. But again, the Jays, obviously a very hot team. They lost 3 of 4 heading into the break. I kind of think that they're able to turn things around. I got to sneeze. Boom. All right, hopefully that's just a one and doneer. But give me the Jays as well as their team total over. But let me stress, guys, I've definitely gone back and forth on that one overall. You know what I mean? All right, Mets taking on Cincinnati. This is another one, which could be kind of weird. You got Lodolo on the mound. You got Clay Holmes on the bump. Lodolo's been fantastic. You don't have Clay Holmes. You might have Sean Manaea. So we don't know exactly who's pitching yet. Either Manaea, Clay Holmes, who knows, right? But what I do like is Lodolo on the mound, and I think maybe for the plus money, we can get to the Reds here. This is another one where we kind of ping-ponged yesterday, and even after the fact, I've gone back and forth. But I do think Lodolo's been good enough at home. The problem is he's been really strugglesome against lefties, and there's a ton of lefties and, I guess switch hitters, but they'll bat from the right side today. But in this Mets lineup, that being said, if we have a lefty on the mound for the Mets, which Manaea is, I don't know if he's definitely pitching or if it's going to be Holmes, we could see Cincinnati look pretty damn good, right? Now, Cincinnati's very good when they're scoring and when they're playing in high-scoring ballparks and whatnot. Mid-70s, wind blowing in today. I don't know if they're necessarily going to put up a huge number. So I think that Cincinnati has the ability to win this one. Total, I'm still kind of, I guess, back and forth on. Even based on what we thought yesterday, I'm not sure. So for now, I'm going to say Cincinnati money line, okay? Just because of the price we're getting. I think that Lodolo for plus 150 ain't all that bad, and I think you can get that. See, that's the beauty of some of these exchanges. Plus 150 right now on ProfitX, plus 142 on Novig. Everywhere else in the market, it's in the plus 130s, which I still think is a real decent line here for Cincinnati overall. No player props in this one either. Let's go ahead and move on because that one is, again, kind of back and forth. And some of these games that we're still waiting on lineup, we're still waiting on, starting pitching, obviously is going to throw in a little bit of a wrench into our plan, right? All right, moving on to the Marlins and the Royals. So this one we talked about yesterday. I still think I feel the exact same. I like the Royals in this one. I think that the price is even getting better, right? Which is good. I don't know if I want to lean to. I am going to put under up on the screen, okay? So Royals in the under for now. I don't know if I get to the under because I don't know how much I want to sit here and trust Sandy Alcantara. That's kind of what it's going to come down to. But the Royals, for me, I think that they should be able to, beat Sandy Alcantara. But I think that this is a Marlins squad that I don't know if they're in the best spot against Seth Lugo, right? In terms of what we're going to see, a massive pitch mix from them. They've been good at home, but this line is fishy. This line is really, really fishy. I was thinking that too, right? Jacob says it can't be Seth Lugo. If it was Seth Lugo, line would be this low. Yeah, I know. And the Royals are one of the teams that are still, we're still waiting for a confirmed lineup. So keep in mind, guys, especially out of the All-Star break, I feel like we should say that over and over again, even if it is more and more. Do you know what I mean? I think that, like, we got to repeat ourselves because it is important to note that this is, out of the next 4 days, this is the wonkiest day of MLB. You know what I mean? Coming back from the break. So definitely worth noting. Anyways, so still Royals. If it isn't Seth Lugo, yeah, we'd probably change that up. But to me, I think that no matter who the Royals pitch out there, I think I'm fading Alcantara, which is sad. And I think that this Miami lineup is kind of due for a little bit of regression as well. So multiple reasons outside of the Royals pitcher. I lean the under because I don't love Kansas City's bats. Do you know what I mean? I don't love the bats regardless. So that's probably why I end up leaning towards the under. Because Cincinnati's not all that great. And then the Mets, like, they're so, the Marlins, they're so sporadic that, I think they would be almost with Sandy Alcantara, they could be favorites in this one if the books thought that they were going to drop a big number. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an 8 right now. I don't mind the idea of an under, but guys, again, really, really, really wonky. And even looking at this, if we were to show kind of the dashboard, right? And I'll explain how to get access to that dashboard afterwards. But, you have Lugo, who's good at home. On the road. Alcantara's good at home. Really good against righties. You can expect some righties in that lineup. No lineup yet because we're still waiting for the pitching. But, lefties is where Alcantara struggles. Pascatino's a big hitting lefty, obviously. The sinker, pitch he hits. The slider, not so pitch they hit, Over here, though, Seth Lugo has a massive pitch mix. You could say 7 pitches if you include the splitter. I just trust him against a Miami lineup that I'm sensing a little aggression. That's really all it is. And actually, you know what? Let's open up. We'll go to GuyBostonSports.com here, guys. This is how you get access to the dashboard. GuyBostonSports.com. You head over to the members area, click the MLB dashboard. I'll throw this in the chat as well. If you are logged in, you'll see the dashboard pop up right away. Now, it takes a little bit to load, especially when I'm live streaming. Oh, that looked pretty good. Here's one that'll take. I jinxed it again. We did that yesterday. But, guys, if you are not logged in, you don't have an account, $6.99 per month to get access to this. There's a lot of people out there that have already, signed up and they got the lower price because whatever price you get in at, you stay at here. So, yeah, you get each and every game broken out in a visual format. We now have bullpens involved as well. Not much to go off of bullpens today, but check it out, guys. Again, link down in the chat, but it's also in the description if you're watching this after the fact. Moving on to the guards taking on the Athletics here. I still lean towards the A's in their team total over, so I'll pop that up on the screen right now. The price that we can get at this is going to vary. I think we looked at it yesterday. It was like minus 140. I've seen cheaper prices already for this. So I think this is kind of a hybrid approach of what we like. Now, when we looked at this yesterday, I believe we had Severino potentially starting, right? So obviously that's changed. It's going to be JP Sears, but that might even lead us to a A's money line still. You have a lefty now on the mound. This Cleveland team just stinks. Overall. So yeah, Mark Green says, fix the dashboard. It's broken. We just opened the dashboard, and it was working. But yeah, either way, this A's team, I do think could hit Slade Ciccone. He's going to throw fastball, slider, literally the only 2 pitches that this A's team are hitting well right now, right? Right there and right there. Green in the fastball and the slider. So, yeah, even if we want to look at this one, right? It'll take a second to load, but I'll show you it looks a little bit different. Actually, that loaded pretty quick. Fastball, slider, boom. Fastball, slider is what we're going to get out of Ciccone. So, Yeah, I think that this A's team can put up a decent number. I'll add A's money line there just so it's said that, that's the side I'm on, because yesterday I liked it with Severino, even though I'm not a big fan of Severino yesterday, I did like him here. JP Sears I go back and forth on, but the good thing here, JP Sears is a lefty in this Cleveland team, not very good offensively, but definitely not very good against lefties anyway. So A's money line and their team total over. No player props in this one, but I kind of pondered around the idea of a few player props, because I don't think it's going to be a big number from the Guardians. Now, flash forward to tomorrow and it's going to be like, oh, the Guardians set a record with 100 runs scored in the MLB. That probably is going to be just our luck. All right, another game. Yankees and the Braves here. We're still waiting on a confirmed pitcher. We know Max Fried has the finger injury, the hand blister, whatever it is, right? He's still listed as the expected pitcher. I don't know if that's what we're going to see. This total sitting at 8.5 tells me maybe not, because maybe it could still be, though, because you do have, obviously, two really good offenses, or one really good offense, but the Braves, if they're up against lefties, sure. But Strider and Max Fried, I would expect maybe keep this line a little lower. The fact that it's listed at 8.5 tells me it might not be the pitcher. So we'll keep an eye on this. Obviously, that could be what we're kind of taking a peek at here in terms of the pitcher. But it might be something that changes, right? So let's keep an eye on that. Overall, though, I still do lean what I leaned yesterday. I like the under, and I like the Yankees if Fried's on the mound. It's Fried dependent, but you know what? I think both these pitchers can pitch fairly well. Yankees have not been, even though their offense is looking better and better, they have not been hitting the fastball too well, right? So if we can get the Yankees with Max Fried on the mound at a pick 'em, and Spencer Strider, who's going to throw that fastball and slider combo, if he's going to look good, I think that we could see a low-scoring game, as crazy as that is to say. I think we may have, if I saw it too, a chance of weather in this one. Let me double-check that. Is that the case? I think we might have a quarter, 25% chance of rain. So if that's the case, I think I like the under even more. So yeah, it's a weird one, but overall, yeah. Anyways, the Yankees, if it's not Max Fried, I'm probably actually flipping to the Braves, because it is kind of dependent on that. Tampa Bay and Baltimore, we liked the over in this one yesterday, and that has not changed for us. So it's going to be Rays money line for me and over in this one. A couple reasons why I do ultimately like that over is, I guess, simple. Taj Bradley on the mound, he really hasn't been what we like out of Taj Bradley in terms of what he's doing last year and stuff. He also has a terrible history against this current lineup on the Orioles. Right now, you can even see this is via Baseball Savant, right? This is his career against the current lineup, so the guys that make up the roster. 78 plate appearances against, 324 average against, 301 expected batting average, 406 WOBA, 389 expected WOBA, 601 expected slugging. So I don't think that he's going to be primed for this amazing start. On the other side, you do have Charlie Morton, who, yeah, I guess you could say Morton's been better. I think if we want to be fair to him, he's been a little bit better, obviously. And I think that he's just an expected pitcher too. Might not be the pitcher, but again, that's what we have as of right now. We can only work with what we have. Charlie Morton, I don't think is going to sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm in a fantastic spot. The curveball could bail him out. He's got a filthy curveball. This Rays team doesn't hit the curveball all that well, but it's not like they stink against it, right? Middle of the pack. But this is a team that hits righties really well. There's not a single guy, even using our dashboard, not a single guy here that has a bad OPS or average against the right hand, right? And Morton's been bad on the road. He's bad against both lefties and righties. He's going to get kind of a mix today because they have the switch hitter in the lineup, so he's going to see Diaz, and these obviously will update as the lineups get confirmed, but a decent amount of lefties in there too, so I really can't sit here and say that, Charlie Morton's primed for a good game. I hope Baltimore's offense can continue to look better than it had been, because I think they went into the break scoring like one run, 0 runs actually, one of those. But before that, their offense kind of turned around. So I like the Rays money line. I also like the idea of the over. Jacob, look in the chat, Jacob got it at 8.5. That's the number that I would really like it at, because I could also see this easily as a 4-4 type of game that someone has to score the game-winning run. But still don't mind that 9 number as long as we can get a good price. behind it there. But yeah, I do think that this is an over. I lean Rays because I think that they're the better offense, and Taj Bradley is better at home, or has been over the last couple of years. Not even so much, overall. Mark, this is the website dashboard right here. We're on GuyBostonSports.com. This is the website dashboard. Zooming. You can zoom in too if you need to. All right. All right, let's move on to this one. Texas taking on Detroit. Corbin against Reese Olson. This Detroit team has been hitting, better. They kind of went in there a little bit of a soft spot, right? They've been a little bit better. They're going to see a lot of sliders and sinkers. Those aren't necessarily their best pitches to see, but Patrick Corbin, I just don't know if I fully want to trust overall. He's going to struggle against righties. There's obviously a couple of these righties in the lineup. Any switch hitter is going to be righties as well. So yeah, it's going to be tough. If it's a problem on mobile, then I'll look into that. I got you. But either way, I do still think Detroit, for the price we're getting here, is probably what we'd look at, right? I think that they're just a better team overall. In terms of a total, though, I do kind of go back and forth. I think that this is still a potential under. I don't think that Detroit's going to smack around Corbin just because of the the pitch mix. Like, if this is a guy that threw a team that threw a bunch of fastballs or changeups, number one and number two in terms of those pitches. So yeah, overall, I think that this is still a spot in which Detroit may have some struggles getting a huge number across the board. Like, I could peg this one at like a 4-3 game, a 5-3 game, something like that. So it's still Tigers money line for me, because I think Reese Olson should be a little bit better than Patrick Corbin here, because he's also going to throw the sinker slider combo, and neither one of those pitches, this is, what this Texas team likes to hit. And the Texas team against righties at home last 30 days, obviously smallish sample size, really, 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 really poor. So I think the Tigers money line could still be something that we end up liking. Who are the four lefties that they've just seen recently, Jacob? I probably should pull that up or look at it. I mean, if someone's on tech, this is a pick 'em for a reason. So I don't mean to sound, I got to give my take on the game, right? I don't mean to sound like convicted that this is going to be a spot in which we're absolutely all over Texas. I just think that they're the better offense regardless. We might have a, we might have a Scooble Evaldi. I think we do. A Scooble Evaldi potentially Sunday Night Baseball, which is going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, garbage lefties. Okay. Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this one. We already took this one, I believe, or actually, I want to make sure that we took it. I think we took this one. Twins money line and the team total over. I think we already took no, we didn't take Twins money line, because you know what, that price I kind of saw going down, and right, so that was one minus 160 yesterday. Take a peek at what this is now. I think on these exchanges, where did it go? Yeah, minus 150. So yeah, that's still juicy as all hell, but this is minus 160 across the board, minus 150 on some of these exchanges. I'm not seeing a path to get to the Rockies, okay? Kyle Freeland I do like, but obviously this is a guy that's pitched in Colorado. He struggled. He's not that great against righties. He's going to get a decent amount of righties because there's a couple switch hitters in this lineup today as well. I think that the Rockies, probably for the price, makes sense. I'm not gonna, sit there and be like, this doesn't make sense whatsoever. I get that, but what I'd say is that the Twins offense, if this is gonna be a game in which, the reason we like the Rockies is they're at home or whatever, runs being scored, this Twins offense to me is just 10 times better. And watching that against the Red Sox, kind of the same thing. Even when the Rockies looked like they were gonna be in a competitive game, at some point the dam broke. And I'd hate to have the Rockies, even for the price that they're at right now, which I don't think is all that crazy, like plus 140. I'd be looking for the Rockies at like plus 170 if I like them. So it's Twins for money line for me. We're probably going to get that in as a final play. The biggest thing, too, in terms of, it's in Coors, can Paddock be good and all that? Maybe not. I don't literally love Paddock. If it's Paddock pitching, by the way, that's kind of what we're waiting for, right? When you think about it, if he's going to throw the fastball, which he throws like 60-something% of the time, the fastballs don't react the same in Coors as you hang a curveball, change up a slider, a cutter, anything like that in terms of how they go out there. So I think that we could see a decent game from Paddock. I would say the bullpen advantage is in the Twins side of things, especially rested. So Twins money line for me. I do want to get the confirmed starting pitcher, because if we don't have that, then if they're going to, I don't even, this is still a pretty heavy price tag. So I want to make sure every box that I like is being checked. Do you know what I'm saying? So yes, it's obviously a spot in which we like the Twins, and I really like the Twins if everything stays the same. But we kind of want to make sure everything does stay the same. All right, let's get to the some chat here before we get into the last 3 games. Do you guys like the format? I know I'm trying to scan the chat as I go, but it kind of is distracting too. But you know what? It is what it is. I can get distracted easily. But I'm kind of liking the idea of we take breaks in between a few games. Like we have 3 games left, right? Let's read the chat for a couple minutes here because, again, I'm going to post, now that I think about the strategy of what we'll do moving forward, might post just kind of a cut-up version of this video like the normal video, right? Because it'll finish around the same time, give me an hour or so to edit it, and it'll be up, you know, around like maybe 10:30, which is a little later than normal, but that way you guys get the live stream. This will live on if everyone wants the full experience, but then we can also post the what am I trying to say? Post the actual just cut up version of the video, right? So yeah, let's see what we got. Bright says it's my first time here. Well, it is our first live chat doing the MLB. Russ says the dashboard ain't loading. Yeah, the dashboard, I do think that, you know, as these things update and whatnot, that it's going to take a while because now we have a ton pumped into the dashboard. So hopefully that's because we just made a change. Every time I make changes on the manual end, it'll go through. Nathan, do you have any picks for the Cubs game? I missed that. I did like the over, but this will be posted as well if you guys do, you know, ultimately want to watch it back and see the plays. And all the final plays, so I'm rolling with myself, will be in the pinned comment after this is posted, and the on the final plays on the site there too. But yeah, we'll obviously be able to go through some of these videos and take out the good parts as well, so you guys will see it when we post that, you know, the full one. But overall, yeah, I do like the idea of these lives getting your input. We still have a couple games left, guys, so it's not over right now. But I do like the idea of coming in, talking to you guys a little bit, that type of thing. You know what I mean? Waiting for the psycho alert alarm. You know what? I'm gonna give you a psycho alert alarm that has nothing to do with the game, just so we can hear it, Curtis. Oh, that sounds so good, don't it? Let's get the soundboard. We got the womp womp, the cha-ching. What is this one? Sometimes I don't even remember what I put on these buttons. That one, that's a tough one. Boom. All right, pumping some crowd noise. We got the soundboard going. All right, let's dive back into these games, guys. We got 3 more. Pitching changed in this one from what we looked at yesterday, so obviously worth going through now. I think both pitchers changed actually. Arizona taking on this St. Louis team. Now we have Andre Payante on the mound, and he's going up against Brendan Pfaadt. So we thought it was Merrill Kelly versus Sonny Gray. A little bit different there, you know what I mean, than what we were looking at yesterday. I still think that this is a spot in which Arizona could be backable, but you're not going to find me back in, you know, Brendan Pfaadt anytime soon. So if this is Kelly, because obviously this is still, you know, a thing that, you know, kind of goes, I guess, in a sense, down to which pitcher is pitching. Because if it's Merrill Kelly, I'm down to roll with it. If it's Brendan Pfaadt, I'll probably just say, okay, maybe Arizona team total over. I don't love the idea against Palante against them, but ultimately, you know, for that price at home, out of the break, I don't mind the idea of Arizona. So we'll lean towards, I guess, the Diamondbacks money line like we did yesterday. I'm down to take that if it is Merrill Kelly. I like them at home here. This has not been a St. Louis team that's all that great on the road, which they're on the road here. But the team total over might be a better move. I just don't love the idea of, you know, Payante, who's going to obviously keep the ball. I know it's Palante, but I like to say with a little tang. I don't like the idea of him just humming fastball in there. Now, it's a fastball that he keeps down in the zone, but he pitches to contact. And this Arizona team just loves to hit the fastball, right? Like, that's what they have been doing. And it's not even some of their top guys in their order. Like, their entire lineup does. So, yeah. Payante is better. If Payante better versus lefties, it's... Yeah. So, it's Pfaadt. Payante is good against lefties, right? But there's going to be, you know, I guess... Yeah, there will be a lot, because there's a lot of switch hitters in that lineup, right? But to me, still, these guys hit fastball as well. That's what it comes down to. But I get it, right? Like, look at the odds. Like, if someone likes the plus money of St. Louis, then not really going to talk them off of it. But I do think, you know, both these bullpens fully rested. Like, one of the biggest issues with Arizona's bullpen has been injuries and rest. At least they don't have the injuries now. But the team total could be something I get behind, because then we don't have to back Pfaadt. He's been better at home, though. We don't have to back him. We don't have to worry about the bullpen. Just go out there and get a decent number, you know, at home coming out of the break. That might be the way to think about it, right? Because I'm okay with getting to this St. Louis bullpen too. I'd probably lean total over as well, to be honest, ultimately. All right, next up, we got the Dodgers taking on Milwaukee. Now, this has definitely moved around too, right? I think it's Quinn Priester right now against Tyler Glasnow, and obviously a big price from the Dodgers. Quinn Priester against this Dodgers team, I believe, has a very limited sample size, but not good. Glasnow, who has obviously had his ups and downs, not even downs, he's just had his like ups and then injuries in his career, I would say. So far this year has looked okay, but some of these teams that he's played, Pittsburgh, Texas, I think that might be 2 of his last 3 starts, because his last start was against this squad, in which he did pitch okay, right? 0 earned through 5 innings, 5 Ks, did have 3 walks. That was a win for Milwaukee in a low-scoring game. I have a hard time believing that it's going to be a low-scoring game overall, but Quinn Priester, as much as we don't love him, he's been okay at times, right? But I think this Dodgers lineup's a whole different animal and a whole different beast. Yes, that's a big price tag. It would probably be Dodgers some way, somehow, ultimately. But, yesterday I even liked the idea with Jose Quintana on the mound. I kind of liked that, right? So it depends on, obviously, who is going to be pitching for this Milwaukee team. Quintana, I kind of like him to suppress the Dodgers offense enough to get to an under. Not necessarily backing Milwaukee, but to get to an under. Priester, Dodgers seeing the right hand, don't necessarily mind it. So you know what? I'll put up maybe I'll go Dodgers team total over. It's a hybrid play, but this is such a weird one. Hopefully you guys can tell by my voice, and I don't have to explain that it's not the most confident lean, especially at the price. You're not getting really good value overall, right? So Dodgers team total over. I do think them at home. You guys are even saying in the chat, them at home out of the break. Like, come on. It's still one of the best. It's still one of the best lineups in baseball, if not the best, obviously. Against lefty could be a little bit different of a story. And yeah, Curtis is saying in the chat, good point. Because the Brewers swept the Dodgers, we said this yesterday, actually, when we were live. Like, you're telling me this Dodgers team, out of the break, at home, aren't going to get their get back against the Milwaukee team? I find it hard to believe. All right. Last game on the board, we have Seattle taking on Houston. Actually, I wanted to, I had a question here. How do you get to add player props? We've already looked at a couple today. Today is just a day that I'm not loving player props. So even with the live streams, there'll be player props in the videos. I'm just not out of the All-Star break. Things are weird. We don't even have confirmed pitchers, which I'm not going to take batters against non-confirmed pitchers and that type of stuff. So we'll be adding player props. I wouldn't worry about that. Same amount of player props that you normally see in the videos, right? So if I like something, I'll share it, like we already shared the Shanuel one with the Angels, that type of thing. But ultimately, realistically speaking, right now, I wouldn't be liking player props even, anyways. But let's get to this last game, because the pitching changed on this one. Luis Castillo still on the mound. Now it's Brandon Walter, which before it was Valdez, right? And I like the idea of just kind of firing Houston. Good thing we waited, because we would have gotten, 1, a bad price, and 2, pitching change. And I haven't this year been checking we need that starter to start, which is a nice feature that books have, but I've just been rolling with it. So luckily that didn't get in. That being said, I still don't think Brandon Walter is going to go out there and stink. I think Castillo can pitch okay, because he has been okay, but we talked about it yesterday. The issue is this, right? He's going to hum fastball. We know that. Houston hits the fastball well. Oh, next pitch, sinker. Okay, Houston hits the sinker well. Okay, next pitch, slider. Houston hits the slider well. So it's still a spot in which I think Houston has the offense to be able to stay in this game, and I don't think they're going to need too much. So I think it's a low-scoring game. So you know what? I'll say under as my main. Like I said, I liked it when Valdez was pitching. I still don't mind the under, but I also kind of like the idea of Houston pulling it out when they need to. The cutter and the fastball being a big combo here for Walter is pretty big to me as well. So it's going to be Houston in the under. Jacob's on the Jacob. We disagree a lot today, so that's probably really good for you, because I am. But I do still think this is a low-scoring game, even with Valdez not being the pitcher anymore. Give me honestly, I'd be okay with a 3-3 game that the 7th run wins it. Do you know what I mean? That type of thing. I just think Houston may have the offensive advantage, which if this is a low-scoring game, every run may be at a premium in a sense. So, getting a couple runs off Castillo could be massive. I love Houston's bullpen compared to Seattle's. So, yeah, that's why it's Houston for me. Pitch mix and, being able to get to Castillo, hopefully. but I'm not really going to talk anyone. I'm not trying to talk anyone into that because I don't even know if Castillo is. I don't even know if Castillo's confirmed. Actually, now that we say it. Yeah, under being the main one. But all right, yeah, that's gonna wrap for the plays. We can stay live for just a couple more minutes here if you guys have any questions or any thoughts or anything like that. Like, ask away. We got some good feedback. Shout out to a couple different people, Mark being one of them, in the chat with the dashboard, getting feedback like that, because sometimes it'll just work for me, but I'm looking at that every day, and we want to make it better and better, so we shall see. And we can also post, Mark, if you're still in here now that I think about it, we could still post the PDF version of the dashboard. It just doesn't auto-update, so things might be out of date, but you can still get the numbers. A lot of those numbers stay the same through the day, right? But yeah, appreciate everyone tuning in. Honestly, this is very fun. I think we'll do it more. Obviously, it's a little bit different of a vibe. I get it. There's some times where I'm able to cut up or edit the video and make something sound really clean or give a really, really good nugget. But like at the same time, to some degree, let's get the raw thoughts out there. You can help me. I can help you as we go through just talking about it, right? So I do love the live aspect. I love going live early like this and being able to, you know, come in here and then say, hey, what do you guys think and stuff like that. Really do like it. So yeah, I think that we keep doing the lives for now. We'll see. Let's see. Seclusive said just use your NoVig code. Appreciate that. That definitely obviously helps me out. But that I was using them before ever working with them too. So keep that in mind, guys. Those exchanges are dynamite. They really are I guess in terms of like the prices you're getting, just that alone. Curtis says 115 people at 9 in the morning. Yeah, I mean, we'll take it, right? It's still growing. It's the first time doing this, so really do appreciate it. If you guys are in here and you have not liked the video, go ahead and do so. Trash just said it as I said that. Hit the like button and everything like that. Yeah, so Mark, I do think that the PD, if we can do, because that we got a lot of good feedback. I'm not fighting your take on the dashboard. This is for you guys and for me, right? So I get it. If we can do both, then it works for everybody, right? Because we got a lot of feedback on how good the dashboard is now with it being integrated into the site, but I'm good to also post the PDF. So yeah, how does NoVig work? It's essentially operates just like your normal book, guys. It does. It's money lines, but the reason you're getting better prices is because it's people out there that are setting the lines, not the book setting the lines. So I could go on there right now and make a custom line, and if someone wanted the other side, they could grab it, right? So obviously the market, gets efficient and optimizes itself to keep it somewhat related. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So if you have not checked it, that link is down in the description. I posted earlier in the chat. Sign up for NoVig, guys. You should always have, I know it sounds like a degenerate thing, but if you're doing this even somewhat seriously, I'm not even saying you're trying to make profit. You're still trying to have a good time. If you're doing it somewhat seriously, one second, I'm getting dry mouth here. I love when I'm trying to make a good point, and I'm like, I'm not going to finish this thing. I gotta cut it off. If you're doing this somewhat seriously, you should have as many books as you can. I'm not saying that increases how much money you have in your bankroll. You're kind of being irresponsible. No. Say you have $100 in one book. You should have 10 in 10 books instead. That type of a thing. This is a good question. Walken says off topic, but do you think we should include the swing off in the regular day games? No. I mean, I get it for the aspect, but it just seemed like, I don't know if I even liked it in the All-Star game. I get it though. It was intense and all that, but like, maybe if you get to like the 15th inning or something, that I could say, but I don't like the idea of just going to a swing off and stuff. You know what I mean? Mark says I like a lot of 150s. I hate when that happens to me. You guys know me. I'll pay more juice than the next guy just because my dumb brain says, well, if I'm getting it at minus 150 and everywhere else is minus 175, even though you still have to hit that at a crazy hit rate to even make profit long term, I'm still getting 25 cents of value if you put that in vacuum. That's just kind of my rationalization, and we obviously get our own numbers as well. So yeah, I think I hate when there's a bunch of minus 150s too, because then you need to hit a lot of your plays to even make profit. You know what I mean? Which can be kind of annoying. Yeah, Curtis, 100%. The promotions being the best. But even if you burn through promotions and stuff, obviously they reintegrate them and whatnot like that. But to me, it's like, yeah, you kind of want to just line shop, guys. Like it's crazy. There's like, we're up, I think it was like, what do we have? I haven't even checked where our bankroll is at right now because we haven't had MLB in 4 days, but we're up about 10 to 12 units, I think, on the season. And we'd probably, if we were getting stale or bad lines, we'd be only up maybe like 5. With how many MLB games there are, if you can get 5 cents, 10 cents of value, it legitimately could change a season in terms of plus minus. I've been doing this for, well, professional, not even professionally betting, but doing content around this professionally for, a long time, right? But I've been betting since, I guess, for like 14 years. That stuff matters, trust me. Can't believe I almost walked into saying I am like a professional bettor. I've never claimed that. I'm not good enough for that. That's why we have a brand called Fade Me. But all right, guys, we're gonna close up shop here. Appreciate everyone tuning in. This will be posted. This will be posted as the same video, so you'll see it. We'll have the pinned comment. I think I'm also gonna chop up some of the maybe even when we get to chat and whatnot, and then post it like the normal video that we normally do as well. So no matter where you see it, it'll be the same content, just kind of slightly different, just so we can kind of please everyone. And I don't think it's too much skin off my back. If it's too much work, then maybe we just stick to just posting live stream. But I do think that we can kind of get a consolidated version as well. So really do appreciate everyone tuning in. I mean that. Last chance, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I say it over and over again, but I mean it. Like, we're live right now, right? This is not me kind of contriving an idea to be thankful. Like, this is, I don't take any of this for granted. We had it earlier, someone say, 100 plus people at, 8:39 in the morning. That's just awesome to me, right? So really do appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.